38-year-old Darian Bennett abducted his 1-year-old daughter, Jakari Bennett, before killing her and taking his own life. It all started at around 11 p.m. on the 11th of June 2022, when Darian fatally shot the mother of his child, 38-year-old Keyshawn Washington, and critically injured the child's grandmother, 63-year-old Peggy Burns, at a home located at 95 Chandler Fields Drive in Covington, Georgia. He then fled the scene with his baby girl. Neighbours raised the alarm after hearing gunfire and reported the matter to police, who responded to the scene. Darian had shot Peggy in the head, but she was able to tell the officers that he shot her, killed her daughter, and kidnapped little Jakari before she was rushed to an area hospital. An Amber Alert was issued for Jakari as the manhunt for Darian began. The following morning, Darian called 911 to confess that he planned to kill the baby and himself at around 7 a.m. The call was traced 40 miles away, and officers located his 2000 model black Honda Accord, abandoned in front of Riverdale United Methodist Church. As officers arrived, they heard multiple gunshots from behind the church and found the bodies of Darian and Jakari. The motive behind the shootings is unclear, as the investigation into the matter continues. 33-year-old Vernie Dickens is behind bars after shooting a barbershop owner. The incident occurred on the 2nd of June 2022, when the authorities responded to reports of a shooting outside Drake's Barbershop, located at 106 West 39th Street in Kansas City, Missouri. When officers arrived, they found a man sitting on top of Vernie so he couldn't flee the scene. Witnesses told the officers that the gunshot victim had been taken to hospital. The authorities said that Vernie was upset about a discounted haircut he'd received prior to the day of the shooting, and had returned to the barbershop on the 2nd of June to have it fixed. When he arrived at the shop to complain, the barber who cut his hair was away, so he spoke to the store's owner, Drake Murph, instead. Witnesses reported that there were several children present in the shop at the time. Drake, who was busy, told Vernie to take a seat and wait, which angered him, and he started yelling. Drake threatened to call the police, so Vince pulled out a gun and fired shots towards him as he ran outside into the parking lot. Drake explained that as he attempted to jump a fence to get away, he was shot in the back and fell. Vernie then stood over him as he lay on the ground and held a gun to his head. But as he pulled the trigger, the gun malfunctioned. A customer took the opportunity to intervene and restrain Vernie before police arrived. Drake is recovering at a local hospital after a bullet narrowly missed his spine. Drake said that the haircut wasn't even a bad cut. The barber did a really good job with it. The man just wanted it for free, he said. Vernie's been charged with first-degree assault, unlawful weapon use, and 2 counts of armed criminal action. He's currently being held at the Jackson County Jail on a $75,000 bond. If convicted, he faces life in prison. 19-year-old Terrence King was arrested and charged with murder after fatally shooting a co-worker. The incident occurred at around 8:30 p.m. on the 7th of June 2022, when the authorities responded to a McDonald's restaurant at 1420 Hampton Avenue in St. Louis, Missouri, on reports of gunfire. When officers arrived, they found 23-year-old Kevin Henderson laying in the car park unresponsive with a gunshot wound to his chest. Despite performing life-saving measures on him, he died a short time later. The authorities said that Terrence and Kevin both worked at McDonald's and they got into a heated argument inside the store. The manager then escorted Terrence outside. Terrence lay in wait until Kevin left the store and another argument broke out. Terrence then retrieved a handgun and fatally shot him in front of multiple witnesses as he fled the scene. Later that night, the authorities tracked Terrence near Henderson with a gun in his hand and he was arrested. Terrence has been charged with murder and armed criminal action and is held without bond. He appeared in court on the 10th of June and pleaded not guilty to the charges. His next court appearance is set for the 17th of June. 54-year-old Ian Lanning has been arrested and charged in the disappearance and murder of his 53-year-old wife, Irene Zanetti. According to the authorities, a missing person alert was issued for Irene on the 30th of May 2022 after she was reported missing by her daughter. Prior to the alert being issued, investigators responded to Irene's home, located at 32 Northeast 23rd Avenue in Pompano Beach, Florida, where she lived with Andrew. A preliminary investigation revealed that Andrew told the investigators that his wife left home on the 14th of May following an argument and has not returned home since or made contact with him. While investigating her disappearance, investigators were able to determine that Irene's phone was in the vicinity of the couple's residence at around 1 a.m. on the 21st of May. Detectives also obtained information that indicated that the couple had been travelling in the same area on the 20th of May. On the 8th of June, the authorities obtained and executed a search warrant on the couple's home, as well as Andrew's vehicle. During the search, investigators located evidence that suggested that Irene had been murdered in the couple's home, and that her body had been disposed of in an unknown location. On the 11th of June, Andrew was arrested and charged with Irene's murder. He's held at the Broward County Jail without bond, as the investigation into the matter continues.